Hey everyone, it's Ryan Higgins here from the Comic Conspiracy Podcast. Just want to give you a quick heads up around the 22-minute mark or so. There is a noticeable change in audio quality. We had a crash on our laptop while we were trying to record this episode. I thought we got everything fixed back to normal, but apparently we did not. So, we apologize for the audio quality in the back half of this episode. We have a good talk about DC Metal, a lot of spoilers there, so avoid that if you don't want to hear that. And hopefully we'll return to our normal quality next week, at least audio quality, if not content quality. So, enjoy the episode. Thanks. Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy, episode 320 for the week of August 15th, 2017. My name is Ryan Higgins, who's here with me this week.
Brock Sager.
Toby.
What's happening, guys?
I'm back.
Guess who's back? It's Brock.
Back again.
We are here on the hours before our midnight release of Batman Dark Knight with an N, not a KN, which I've been misspelling for a while. Dark Knight's Metal #1. We're going to do a midnight release here. So sorry, you're hearing this on Wednesday night because we're going to be here recording we're going to be here at the store till like 1 o'clock in the morning. So this episode is not going up tonight. But also I figure, hey, what a great opportunity to spoil the shit out of Batman Dark Knight's Metal #1 because this book's fucking incredible. So we're going to talk all about that. If you don't want to hear spoilers, you may want to skip a good chunk of this podcast. But hopefully it's going up a little later in it's not going to go up Tuesday night, so spoilers are... the book's out. Sorry, guys. We're going to spoil it. But before we get to that, let's look at what else the hell I wrote here, because I had some other stuff I wanted to talk about before. And, we're only recording 45 minutes after we normally start. You'd think I would have this stuff all prepped, but I still don't. So, you know what? I completely forgot about something. It's the beginning of the month. We have to thank our really good friends at Patreon. It's technically not the beginning of the month, but our Patreon stuff was all screwed up last week. But we got everything sorted. So Patreon people, do not worry. You're here. We're going to thank our good friends. We're going to thank you guys right now. Please don't skip this. These people deserve to be heard because they gave us money. Julie and Titus at the Nerds Without Pants podcast at pixelbit.com. Nerds Without Pants. Toby?
No pants.
It's at the beginning of the episode, but still, you got to say your no pants. Please go check out Ryan Hess at Blowhards, which is a podcast about video games. That's at blowhards.libsyn.com. Also, Jody Lawson is canon the Triad Comics Anthology at triadcomicstudios.com. Our good friends of Manoa Place, Sam Che, Talon Bray, Craig Anderson, Joe Duff, and new to the top, Mario Miranda. Thank you guys all very, very much for your patronage at patreon.com/comicconspiracy. Now on to the rest of the show. Toby. I want you to talk about it because we talked about it on the Geek Box last night, and it's pretty comic related. I didn't actually have it on my list, but I meant to.
Yes.
Let's talk about some DuckTales.
Okay.
Someone asked about it too, and I wanted to talk about this.
Yes.
You loved DuckTales.
Yes.
Pilot for the new show just came up on Disney XD, 1 hour premiere movie.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I loved it, but I liked it.
Oh, okay. You were mad at me for saying I thought it was just okay.
Because I'm mad at your wife. And when your wife posts something, it means you mean it too, because you guys are one mind at this point.
No.
Yes, absolutely.
No, I disagree with her on some of it.
Barely.
So
I want to see those arguments at your household.
Oh, we disagree on stuff all the time.
I believe this. No, Ryan, you're wrong. Okay, Leanne, so you're right.
So, well, that's different. Well, some people really that I've talked to have really liked the animation on this new DuckTales cartoon, which I agree. I actually really like it. Leanne didn't, but she has a different problem with it. Her problem with it is the characters and the backgrounds blend too much into each other. The weight of the lines around the characters is so thin compared to most cartoons that she doesn't like the way it's...
I feel like they've been inspired by the retro Mickey Mouse cartoons.
But if you look at those, and I actually agree, I do agree with her on this, although I disagree with some of the other stuff. I agree with her on that. The retro Mickey Mouse cartoons, which are amazing, they're so good. They do have that thicker line, though. They have the more traditional animation line, and the characters. I think because of how stylized the background is in this show and the characters are stylized in a similar fashion, they sort of blend together a little bit. But I don't. That doesn't bother me nearly as much as it bothers her. She really doesn't like that. If I have a problem with the show, it's the kids. I'm just not in. I can't deal with their voices and personalities. We're only in the one episode. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna keep watching. Webby was the one that really got to me.
Actually, yeah, they changed her a lot.
Yeah.
Well, but then, like, is it us because we know what the original Webby was like?
Well,
or you know,
I don't dislike it because it's different. I just don't like it. She's like neurotic and insane, and it's just like so ADD, and I can't deal with it.
Well, that's like
too much.
majority of the kids these days.
I can't deal with them either.
I know that.
Where Huey, Dewey, and Louie, I thought were okay as characters, but their voices.
Something was just different, and part of me just kind of wished maybe it's odd because I was excited going in with the voice cast, but coming out after watching it, I kind of wish I didn't know the voice cast.
Yeah.
Because like I couldn't stop seeing the 10th Doctor while Uncle Scrooge was talking.
Yeah, he's like exactly.
Yeah, it's just it's weird. I just kind of wish I didn't know.
Yeah. Well, it's Tennant's voice as Uncle Scrooge, David Tennant, but it's just kind of a little bit faster, a little bit up, but it's still, you could tell it's him. I mean, but I liked him. I love Launchpad. I really like Mrs. Beakley.
She's different,
but I like her.
She's quite different in this one.
But
I'll be honest, a lot of things feel a little off, but that's because I was a big fan of the original and it's just different.
Right.
But I do like some of the mythology they're building already. I mean, the mom never got pointed out before.
Right.
So I kind of enjoy that they're going right after the mythology at this point.
Yeah.
You know, that there was former adventures that Donald Duck is actually kind of, it seems like, I hope it's not just not pilot, but I hope it's part of the show that he's actually part of the gang. I'm looking forward to that because in the original I always find it odd.
He was barely in it.
He was in one episode, I believe.
Is that it? Wow.
The one episode, they released the VHS off it,
I think he's going to be a regular character.
Yeah, I kind of hope that, and I kind of like that there was a history between him and Uncle Scrooge too. That they had adventures on their own. Yeah. So, in a weird way, I kind of enjoy that they're building mythology this time around, as opposed to just random adventures.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. It's really weird coming in as a fan of the old one.
Yeah. Because I love the animation. I love the character designs and stuff in this. It's a good mix of the original cartoon, the comics, Carl Bark stuff, the Don Rosa stuff. It's got a great mix.
It does kind of reference a little bit of everything because he's in the red. He's in the red like the comic books, unlike the blue. I don't know, man. I was such a big fan of the original, the style and everything that this takes some getting used to.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not against it, but I just kind of happy it's back. To be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be a half David Tennant episode as well because we have not one, not two, not one, not two, but three different David Tennant things to talk about. So, sorry if you really hate David Tennant, this is not your podcast.
Good thing I really, really like it.
But I'm definitely going to keep watching it. It comes back
indifferent.
Next month.
Oh, is it? Do we have to wait that long?
I think there's like a month break between it. I thought that's what I read.
Oh,
I
what?
could be wrong. I thought this was like a special.
Oh, that's such a mistake.
Yeah, I don't think it's next week or anything.
That's such a mistake.
Let me look it up. I'll look it up while we're talking because I don't think it's next week.
Okay,
but we'll look.
It was an odd 2 episodes though. I felt like they didn't really mesh together very well. The pilot.
Well, it's 1 episode. I mean,
it's not. It's 2.
Well, it is 2 episodes, but it's one story.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm looking forward to the normal one. Sometimes the pilot doesn't work for me.
Well, that's
and the normal one kind of like figures shit out.
Right now, September 23rd is the next episode.
What?
Yep, they're taking 6 weeks off or so.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Episodes, and there's only 4 episodes listed right now, but I'm sure it's just.
Oh, they're gonna have a ton.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it's just.
Although I'm a little worried about these new Disney cartoons and new Disney deals because they seem to come and go.
Well, the Mickey Mouse shorts have been just kind of random, and they do them on YouTube and stuff first, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's different. I think this is a legit show that's going to run for at least a while.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I'm really excited that it's back, though.
Well, next Tennant thing let's talk about for all you fans of Jessica Jones.
Oh, the best comparison I'll take, though, is it's the new DuckTales cartoon is kind of like the new IDW Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
It kind of takes a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
It takes from the old cartoons, it takes from the old comics, it takes from, a little bit of everything. So that's the best comparison I'll take.
Well, and it's tough because you're living on 30 years of nostalgia and you're living on, this thing that we've built up as kids and now into adulthood into our head.
Yeah.
And, it's tough. But I liked it. I wanted to love it, but I am definitely going to stick with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I do have a couple problems, but not enough to make me not watch the rest. David Tennant is going to be returning. Jessica Jones Season 2.
Yay.
As Kilgrave or Purple Man as we know him. To what degree, I don't think they've said. I think I would expect maybe a flashback or, maybe.
He just comes back.
Well, it could.
Mrs. Sinister is going to put them back together.
Mr. Sinister?
Yeah.
Well, I would assume it's just like flashbacks or like in the corner of her mind. She's still being controlled by him even though he's dead.
You're wrong. Mrs. Sinister's going to come and put them back together, piece by piece, toe by toe,
if they
finger by finger.
If Fox allowed that, then I'd be okay with it. But
Fox.
And lastly, on the David Tennant front, I had no idea this was actually being made. David Tennant and Michael Sheen are going to be playing the two main roles of the Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman novel Good Omens. It's going to be a series on Amazon based on that.
Oh, it's an Amazon show?
Yeah.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah. Nice.
Now, contrary to popular belief, I actually have read books in my life.
That's the scary part.
That aren't called comic books. And I did read Good Omens. I mean, it was forever ago. I don't remember.
We read that when we were like in high school.
I read it in high school. I don't remember much about it. But
I think there's a car, like a speeding car down the street. I don't know.
And that sounds right. It's been so long since I read it, so don't ask me about the plot or characters or anything. However, I remember enjoying it a lot.
That's all right. We'll just get the Good Omens comic book from Dark Horse.
Oh, jeez. That we'll never...
and
that
then,
we'll always have problems with.
And then you can...
Every single time we've gotten an issue of American Gods, there's been a problem. Every single time. Damages, shortages.
Yeah.
Like even this week, we had a damage on one of the copies. It's just like I've never had a complete set of that book on the shelf for release day. It's crazy. But American Gods, the TV show, has not clicked with me. I'm still gonna make my way through it. But Good Omens again with David Tennant and Neil Gaiman. Oh man, I am all down for this. So, I don't watch too much stuff on Amazon. I do want to watch that Tick show when it starts. I still got to see the pilot.
Bryce watches. Got me on that Catastrophe show. It's like just 30-minute 6 episodes.
We did watch the first season of Man in the High Castle, which I really liked.
Yeah, I've heard good reviews about that.
Yeah, I haven't seen season 2
That's the only thing that I'm curious about on Amazon right now.
It's good.
I like Bosch.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that, but I don't know anything about that.
Based on the Michael Connolly novels.
But I'm definitely down.
The Titus Wheeler, the headliner of that show.
Wait, didn't Kirkman move to Amazon also?
Yeah. So much like Millerworld sold to Netflix, with the exception of Kick-Ass and
Wanted
and
Wanted?
No, the exception of Kick-Ass and Kingsman. What's his face? Kirkman sold all his properties to Amazon except for Walking Dead and Outcast. So
and Invincible?
And Invincible, I'm assuming, because of the movie. So I don't know what that means. That's everything he does. So I don't.
Maybe all future properties.
Yeah, I guess.
It's more like, here's a chunk of money. Anything you do, we want to have a first pass at it.
Again, this wasn't on my list, but did you guys see that he's part of a group
that's suing AMC for money?
AMC for royalties.
Including the first showrunner, I believe, right?
Well, Darabont already sued him, and that's over.
Oh.
And so now Kirkman and the rest of the producers are suing him, except one or two of the guys aren't. But yeah, the rest of the but they're still going to produce Walking Dead, and it's still going to be on. But
it's just they just want their money.
Well, they agreed to X, and Walking Dead made X times 10 billion, so they want a bigger cut. I'm not going to say they shouldn't get it. If Walking Dead is the most successful television show on. The most successful cable show, period, like ever. It's crazy popular. Like, give this guy his payday, give the guy some money.
Yeah.
Or at least, hopefully, Amazon paid them out big, because if they can get a few... I mean, I don't know what Outcast did. I have no clue what Outcast ratings were. And
well, you said you really enjoyed it.
I loved Outcast. I
haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
It's an extremely subtle show.
It's a slow book.
It's a slow show, but I like it in a lot of the same ways I liked Hannibal. I don't think it's as good as Hannibal, but I was really surprised with how much I liked Outcast. And I liked it more than the comic. The comic, I read the first 3 or 4 issues.
Burn book. Things happen, but in Walking Dead, when you're reading Walking Dead, it's normally exposition, action. There's this, it's a build-up thing. Whereas Outcast is just kind of this...
Well,
it doesn't really hit those highs that Walking Dead would hit as a comic book, but it's still really good.
Well, I think Outcast, I'm okay with slow as long as the characters are intriguing, and I feel like there's a progression. There's tension and there's progression. I think it's not so crazy that you're going to oh my God, I have to marathon this thing. I think you actually shouldn't marathon it. I think it works good watching a episode or 2 in a row and kind of giving us a break, because it is a much more of a character piece, I think, than an action. Yeah. But it's creepy, but it's not scary or gory. Yeah. But it definitely is. You just feel a little on edge the whole time. And I think they do a good job with it. Yeah. I really liked Outcast. I have no idea when the next season's coming out. I don't think I've missed it. I've not heard anything about it. I'm sure it starts in 2 weeks, and I just don't know. But
probably,
I'm sure it does. My TV will just be new. I had no idea iZombie came back, and I'm oh, I have an entire season of iZombie to watch. Oops.
Oh, you didn't know that came back?
I mean, I knew it came back.
I was watching the end of Flash, going, "Stop with the iZombie! I get it. It's coming back."
I knew it came back. I didn't realize I didn't watch the entire season, and now it's over. And I'm oh crap! I didn't watch any of these. Okay, well, I need to. iZombie's great.
Nice.
Okay, we have a few more things to talk about here. We have all sorts of legacy books coming from Marvel, and there's been some new announcements. Before we get to the new announcements, though, I should say, if you are interested, we are offering the lenticular cover set of all the legacy comics coming out in October, which is 28 or 29 covers, I believe. It's an homage lenticular cover, so it has the classic cover and then the modern spin on that cover. It's
basically, if you look on Bleeding Cool for that legacy article, it's all the gifts of back and forth.
Yeah,
from the classic cover to the modern.
You saw all that stuff before. Yeah. They look pretty cool. We have to have our final orders in for these to guarantee we get these by Thursday the 24th, I believe it is. So a week and change. That's when our previous order is due. So any orders placed after that day, we should have extra copies, but we cannot guarantee sets. So if you want to guarantee a set of these, comicsconspiracy.biz, go pre-order today.
It's on the website.
It's $100 and change. For the set, it's all lenticular covers. They're just $3.99. It's unlike DC; they're not bumping up the price. It's just the same price as the regular comic, and it's a lenticular cover, which is awesome. That's a great deal for Marvel.
Well, there's another reason why they're doing that, but we don't like to talk the sales charts.
Well, I mean, they're doing it to sell more comics, which I can't blame them. I wish these were the regular covers instead of variant covers. But as long as we get them in by the 24th, we're gonna get those. For people that pre-order past the 24th, again, we should be able to fill the vast majority, if not all, the sets complete. However, Marvel is cautioning there could be allocations. So if you're thinking about these, they don't come out for a while, but we have to order them by the 24th. So you have to order them from us by the 24th. Again, we're happy to take orders after, but read that fine print. We cannot guarantee the sets. We will do our fucking hardest to get them.
Yeah, because when DC first did it with the Villains Month,
we got allocated.
Severely. Hardcore.
Yeah, and I'm glad I didn't I'll put those up for I don't. No, we didn't have those up for order. Did I? Oh, maybe I did. I did.
You had them up for order.
I think there was a couple we couldn't fill.
There was a couple that you filled all the pre-orders, but the problem was people were trying to order after the fact. And you couldn't fill it because I remember the Harleys we got allocated hard.
Yeah. No, there were some that we were allocated super crazy amounts. But there's going to be more in November, and we have the first batch here. These are the first handful of comics that they're announcing official November, although I want to say next week we should have the full Marvel solicitations. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur is going to continue with number 25. Daredevil, still by Charles Soule, $5.95. Spider-Man Deadpool 23, so that's going to just continue as is. Power Pack's coming back, written by Devin Grayson.
Huh?
Yeah, Power Pack's coming back.
Why?
Issue 63. I mean, Power Pack's...
Like, I can understand Power Pack coming back for the all ages, as an all ages book.
I mean, this is part of the finishing issues, right? We're going to have a new Darkhawk. We have a new...
The 90s are back,
there is
baby.
that.
No, I'm not joking, dude.
No, there is. Yeah, they're doing these like one-shot issues. But Power Pack, this is actually being listed as part of the Legacy stuff.
Oh, really? I thought that was like the last issue, whatever the old one was.
Oh, is it just the one-shot?
That's what I thought. Am I wrong?
Oh, I don't know. I saw the Darkhawk thing.
Yeah.
As like a one-off.
Like it's number whatever the last one is.
It's like what they did. DC did with.
So your little bound stuff, you're gonna have to unbound it, and then
I
you
never
have to.
bound Darkhawk.
Oh, damn it!
Wait for the new Warriors release.
I think there is. I think there is. I forgot. There's a whole bunch. There's like 5 or 6 of them.
You know, because I kind of remember. Oh, you know what? It says part 1 of 1. I think you're right. I think they're listed under Legacy though.
It's like the Blackest Night. One
right.
shot.
I remember that.
For like
that,
Catwoman and
well, Guardians of the Galaxy 146 with Nova, just Nova, just Rich Rider, just only Rich Rider. Thank God.
Are you going to buy the book?
They're joining the Guardians are joining with the Nova Corps. The Guardians hunt for the Infinity Stones begin. Please don't suck. Please don't
buy
suck. At this point, I might get these.
Whoa!
That Nova book was so fucking trash.
How many years has it been?
Bad.
How many years has it been since you've gotten a single Marvel issue?
Well, I've been getting stuff on and off. I mean, I was getting some of the Disney stuff. I was getting
that doesn't count.
What's the last Marvel comic I bought?
Because you didn't buy Vision.
No, I didn't. Because I'm just waiting for hardcover.
And you didn't buy any of the Ant-Man stuff.
Nah, I never even finished that. Ant-Man was all right. I didn't like it.
You didn't buy any of the.
You and Marshall loved Ant-Man. I liked it.
Ant-Man's awesome.
I liked it, but I didn't love it. I didn't buy. No. Yeah, I don't buy any. I mean, I haven't bought any Marvel in a long time. So yeah, Guardians. Can't wait for that. Ben Reilly, Scarlet Spider. That's the final book that's been announced so far. And it's just continuing. But Toby, are you ready?
Yes.
Do you know the name of the arc of the first Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider story arc coming up? The Slinger's Return.
Really?
Yeah. Dusk Prodigy, Ricochet, Hornet, your favorites. You're a 90s kid. You love the Slingers.
Is it those fake Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Had like their own comics?
Yeah, for like a half a minute. Yeah.
Wow. Doesn't one of them have to be like in an AA meeting, like a later book?
I don't know. It's terrible. I never liked the Slingers. I never cared about them. They tried to make that thing work, but I did not.
Had a couple issues.
Yeah. They had like
every time I see that, I just
Pretty certain I have all those issues.
throw it in a quarterback.
It's no slapstick, but what are you gonna do? So
Oh, maybe they'll get their own series. Apparently, Slapstick can get his.
yeah, a couple times.
Spider-Man finally.
What have I got? Oh yeah. Our TV playing some classic cartoons. Love
I
it.
didn't shut that off. Nobody's just distracted.
Well, now we're going to talk about something else. Now we're going to talk about the big thing before we get to some questions here. We have to talk about metal. We're going to talk all about DC metal right now. So
Dark Knights with an N.
Dark Knights Metal #1 by Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo, out, well, today if you're listening to this on Wednesday when it comes up. So full-on spoilers. Stop listening now if you don't want to hear anything about it. Spoilers went up everywhere on Monday, so you probably already saw a bunch of this. But if you're ignoring spoilers, you should stop listening now. So we got to talk about this. Those one-shots that started this whole metal thing.
The Forge and the Cast.
Yeah, those are good. All right,
They're really good.
I thought they're really cool. Did you end up reading both of those, Toby?
I think so. Let me go get them.
Yep. It's setting up this mystery in the DC universe that Batman's a part of. There's been this sort of history involving Batman that Hawkman has been sort of working throughout time. That there's this something wrong, or there's these different types of metal within the DC universe.
Evil.
Yeah, that's
lurking in the, like on the fringes.
Yeah,
The DC universe.
And the various fictional metals within the DC universe are being involved in this in some way. The nth metal or ninth metal that's a common piece of Hawkman's armor is a big part of it. So we've seen bits and pieces of metal number 1 before it actually got released. So we knew a couple things from here. I don't know that I realized the Blackhawk girl. I don't think I realized that was Kendra Saunders. That's Hawkgirl, right?
I realized that, like, I said, Kendra Saunders, who's that? And then, like, 2 seconds later, I was like, oh, yeah, that's Hawkgirl.
They didn't say that they didn't say that before we got to read this, right? I have no recollection of anyone saying that she was back.
No, I have not. I haven't really read anything with her back then.
Yeah. Now, even if you're on the very first page there,
maybe in All-Star.
No, I don't.
A lot of the stuff from All-Star comes into this.
I don't think so. I would remember Kendra Saunders being around. I have no recollection for her being around. Now, if you go to that 50,000 years ago, that very first page, there's 3 symbols. Don't they look a little bit like the White Lantern symbol? Did you notice that?
Yeah, I was like, this Johns is influencing Snyder here.
A little bit. So we'll go through this very briefly, and we'll talk about what some of this means. The book starts off with the Justice League going against a Mongol in his new war world. And it's just a big action, big fight scene, just kind of getting these characters all set up. It was pretty fun. I don't know. Toby I don't think likes the Justice League Voltron they formed with all the big robots.
Well,
but
thing is,
I thought it was pretty fun.
Listening to your interview with Scott, that you had a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Going into this, I was like, oh, are they going to form this giant robot thing? Oh wait, I remember from his conversation with you, he was like, I just want it fun and summary and everything that's crazy. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care. It's awesome.
Right. So, as we get a little bit further into the book, we discovered that a Challenger's Mountain, which goes back to the Challengers on the Unknown. This is a classic DC character. Sort of literally pops up. Yeah, within Gotham. Yeah, it's 4 people who they should have died. They are now living on borrowed time. They are the Challengers of the Unknown. They go into crazy situations, and this is an old Golden Age, early Silver Age concept from DC. So this is where they run into Kendra Saunders, who's now part of the modern Blackhawks, which is kind of like a paramilitary group in the modern DC universe, trying to figure out what's going on with the Challengers. But we saw this. Now this we saw. She has Grant Morrison's multiversity map that was given out as a promotional item during...
which I found ours.
Mine, when we moved, mine somehow got buried in with our random stuff. So I'm very happy I found my copy of this map. We have to look at the amount of stuff on these 2 pages, because we have all this stuff that has not been part of the New 52, classic DC elements that are all being brought back. We have the Blackhawks, the classic, the Golden Age, Silver Age Blackhawks. We have Starman, the second Starman, the pre-Jack Knight one. We have the Metalmen. We have Teomaro.
The Metalmen have been back. They were in that.
But yeah, during New 52.
Legends of Tomorrow.
Well, they were in New 52 briefly. Challenge of the Unknown, Red Tornado, Multiversity. I mean, they go pretty deep here with some really cool DC stuff that I'm very happy to see back. But we get the kind of the meat of the story here. This comes from Kendra Saunders again, who in the regular universe was Hawkgirl. I don't know what their plan is for her here, but she's discussing this dark multiverse. Now this is kind of the main picture of the series, and we've already seen solicitations that a group of Dark Knights with a K, these kind of evil version of Batman from all these different multiverses, are going to start invading the DC universe. You have the regular multiverse, and then you have the dark multiverse. It's a flip side to that, like the antimatter universe that was part of Crisis on Infinite Earths. So this book already has things from the regular books, pre-New 52. There's that whole reference of Aquaman using his hook hand.
Yeah.
And there's an editor's note that says the 90s.
Yeah.
So like they're just straight up just acknowledging pre-New 52 stuff at this point and just saying fuck it, it's pretty much just that's all real, right? Batman is trying to, again, this all works into the Forge of the Castle, these one-shots, where Batman's trying to solve this mystery of what is up with this metal, how does it connect to the Dark Multiverse, now that he knows about that. What is all this? You have this very quick glimpse here of one of the Metal Men, Plastic Man, still in this little egg form from one of the previous issues, and Dr. Fate realizing that the Dark Knights, the Dark Multiverse has opened. Right. Now let's get into the last couple pages. Right. So there's been there's two things in here that I never in a million years would have guessed that would just ever show up again. First, let's talk about the smaller of the two. There's a reference in here not only to Final Crisis, but Barbados, who is the Bat Demon god that Grant Morrison used in his Batman R.I.P. pre-New 52, right? That whole story arc, leading directly into Final Crisis, again, it straight up references Final Crisis within this whole context of Barbados. Yeah. The Grant Morrison did not create this character. However, it was just a little one-off story from 40 years ago or something at this point, or 35 years ago, that now is that Morrison kind of brought into the main continuity. So I'm very curious if Snyder is going to take Morrison's run on Batman from almost a decade ago at this point, and weave some of that Barbados stuff as maybe like the Herald of the Dark Knights, or I'm not sure what he's going to do with it, but I love the fact that he brought this character in. And then we get to the final page. Now, Toby, this is where you got all mad at me, and you said, fuck Ryan Higgins and his goth shit.
You and I both got shivers of excitement when we turned to this, when we finally got to this.
Here's my story. I go on Twitter, as it is in the morning, and I see a nice tweet from Scott Snyder, just regular tweet of like, hey guys, everyone, spoilers are now leaking out. There's been some interviews and spoilers are starting to come out for Dark Knight's Metal. If you don't want to know, you shouldn't look, right? Because they're going to be everywhere pretty soon. I scroll down about 3 tweets and I see an article from Comic Resources.
It says Newsarama.
Maybe it was Newsarama. I can't remember which one it was. And it was this very, I thought, kind of just random tweet that didn't catch my eye immediately. It was just like, classic Vertigo thing. Okay, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of look at it and I'm like, okay, Vertigo, classic Vertigo. I can take a click on this. And it's like the final page of Dark Knight's Metal #1 is just sitting there with Batman, meaning Daniel, the new Sandman. And I almost shat myself. I'm like, what the? No, you fucking, God damn it. And then I immediately went on Diamond's website and doubled my order of Dark Knight's Metal #1. Very, very nice. Scott Snyder actually reached out to me after I posted something about this, and he goes, here's the feed for the whole thing. Just read it and tell me what you think. And I was like, this is fucking amazing. I just doubled my order. So, So, Toby, you've got questions.
Not really.
Have you heard us babble about Batman or Sandman long enough?
Well, the thing is you were nice enough to let me read the PDF.
Yeah, of course.
And I went and read it, and I came back and I was like, "Holy fucking shit!"
Now,
it was.
Again, of all the surprises in comics, I love it when I just have no idea this is coming. Right? Not even a hint.
The only other time I remembered something like this was when Johns did Brightest Day. And
Swamp Thing comes back.
I think it was issue 23.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy, that was the last time I really got this feeling. But kudos to Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo for that. It's awesome.
So, Toby, well, you've heard us babble about Sandman on and off throughout the years.
Yeah.
Within the context of the story, let me give you a little my thought here is.
Here's where it got confusing because he babbled about the fucking Sandman all the fucking time. Right? I'm like, I know how the fucking Sandman looks like. You had him in your fucking bathroom forever, right? I know how he fucking looks like. So that last page, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? So I was extra confused because he looks like a Doctor Who villain, those little wind-up guys that move.
Yeah.
So I was like, the first initial thought, I know I'm a horrible comic book fan because I never read the Sandman. Well, I tried actually multiple times, and that's something I have to do eventually. But as a guy that never read it, I went to the last page now, huh?
Yeah. Well, sure, and that's so for people like you.
Yeah.
Give a little context.
Yeah.
To why this is important.
Yeah.
And besides just us wigging out because Sandman's now back in the DC universe. So you have Morpheus, King of the Dreams, King of Dreaming, Sandman, one of the Endless, God above gods, right? You have this character. He's been around. But in the context of the main story, spoilers for Sandman, he dies in the second to last story arc. Second to last? Yeah, second to last arc, because it wakes the final one. A character named Daniel is tasked to take over his position within the Dreaming and becomes the new Sandman. He is the son of Lyda and Carter Hall, who is Hector Hall.
Oh, you really confused me.
Lyda Hall and yes. Sorry.
You really confused me now.
Well, Carter. That's the thing. Carter Hall
wrote the journal.
Hector Hall is the son of Carter Hall.
What?
I believe. I'm getting my things all confused now. Hector Hall is related to the Golden Age, to the original Hawkman. So there is, I believe Hector Hall is Carter Hall's son.
Okay.
Because Daniel showed up back in Justice League of America or JLA.
Well,
a handful of times.
Yeah. Hector Hall is the son of Carter and Shaira Hall, the original Hawkman and Hawkgirl. Yeah. So because they're reincarnated, they killed over and over and reincarnated. Lyda Hall, Hippolyta Hall, is the daughter of Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor. This is Golden Age stuff. This is pre-crisis stuff. So they have the son named Daniel, Fury and Dr. Fate in the original Justice Society stuff. They have a son named Daniel, right? And the original Sandman Morpheus comes to Daniel early in the series, and
Daniel's in Sandman a couple of times.
Yeah, as a baby.
As a baby, we see him as a small child, and then
and this Hippolyta and Fury and Dr. Fate, I mean, they're never called this within the context of Sandman. At least I don't believe so. It's just these characters, and if you know who they are, it's a sort of extra layer. It's continuing the actual story of these characters. But if you don't, it doesn't matter. It's just two people, right? So when Dream dies, when Morpheus dies, he's sort of then taken and tasked to become the new Sandman and guard over the Dreaming. The Dreaming is this realm outside of reality where every story that has never been told exists. It's where dreams come from, right? It's a sort of it's everything that never happened comes from this place.
I'd really like to go to the library.
It's never ending, right? Murph Pumpkinhead. So it's this. He's the master of stories, right? The whole Sandman comic is about stories, basically, and how they interact within the context of the real world. Everything from religious stories to Shakespeare to modern mythology, everything.
Yeah, Sandman. I mean, part of the lure of Sandman as a comic was it thrust the genre of comic books into a more literary realm.
It was very different because
the topics it touched on
Yeah.
were, like you said, it has religious stories, it has horror stories, it has Shakespeare, it has all types of stories told within this.
Right.
In
fables. So why, beyond that, what makes this special is this is only the third, maybe fourth appearance.
No, he's had a handful of appearances. So I looked it up beforehand.
Yeah.
He's in JLA a couple of times.
So he's in the Wake. So Daniel's in the Wake, which is the final arc of Sandman.
A few times as a baby,
but,
and then as actual Daniel.
Daniel Sandman, the White Sandman, he's in the Wake. Mm-hmm. He's in JLA, the Grant Morrison JLA, during a two-parter.
Yeah.
With a two-parter with the Starro is the villain, and Starro is like causing people to get caught in dreams, right? Starro, the big starfish that sucks under your face. He's in an issue of JSA.
He's in numerous issues of JSA.
Well, but like this, I thought he was only in the one issue.
He's in the first issue of JSA, the John stuff.
He's in the first issue.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, I didn't want to open up the omnibus because we don't have issue 1, but he's apparently in it. He might not have an actual appearance, but in issue he also pops up. He's a mirror. Like, he's talking to people as a mirror in issue 59 and 63.
Okay.
But in issue 80...
He's actually there.
He's actually there, but it's really fucked up how he's there. All you have to do is look at the panels.
Right, he's just in shadow.
No, he comes to his mother's call to say... Because she's like, I want to bargain and save his life, and he takes both of them.
Right,
That's where they both die.
In this, Lyta and Hector Hall, the original version of these characters. This is in the post-crisis, the JSA comic by Jeff Johns, but this is after Johns left the book. They're going to die, and Daniel takes them into the dreaming, and that's the last you see of any of these characters.
Yeah.
And I don't think Daniel must have been in the Daniel wasn't in Endless Nights, huh?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he wasn't in the.
Endless Nights was just a story about each of the Endless. It wasn't about Daniel. It was about.
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember him being in that, and he wasn't in the more recent Sandman.
No, because that's all Prelude stuff.
Yeah, so this is only like the fourth time this character's ever appeared in something. So it is like, this is a huge fucking deal. This character does not appear regularly, and again, Sandman is that thing where DC can't just publish a Sandman comic. They have to have the approval of Neil Gaiman. And Neil Gaiman confirmed, I was either yesterday or today, that yes, he talked with Scott Snyder about this and has approved the storyline that Snyder's doing with Daniel. So we're going to get more Daniel in fucking this Dark Knight's Batman comic that we have in the entire history of Sandman, which ended, 20-some-odd years ago. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, I am so excited for this. Toby, we talked to you about reading Sandman. Because you got those first two omnibuses cheap. If you get through that first omnibus and you don't like it, just stop, because it's not going to get any different.
Yeah.
But give it a shot, and I'd love to hear what you think about it.
Preludes and Nocturnes can be a difficult read. Well, that's the first story arc.
I've mentioned this so many times, but the first arc of Sandman is pretty different than the rest of the series. You really have to give it that 12, 13 issues, because it does become a very different book.
Well, Sandman for me, that's where I got my first tattoo. Was the Key to Hell from Season of Mist.
Yeah.
And, that doesn't happen in the book until, the late teen issues.
Yeah, no, it's later.
So,
what most people remember from Sandman, is not in those first 6 issues. But it is great stuff. I really like it. It's just, it is very different than what it becomes. So... Toby, I'd love to have you read it, and I'd love to see what you think.
Well, I bought those 2 books from you, so and if I come in with black eyeliner, use my baggy shorts, and my backwards baseball hat, I'll fucking yell at you. What have you done to me?
All too easy. So Metal. I have no idea where this is going, but I am now beyond intrigued. Yeah, I'm super excited.
I think, for me, honestly, reading The Forge and reading the casting were just really nice setup issues.
There's a lot going on in those books.
And there's a lot going on, but they're nice, good, solid setup issues. And then you get Dark Knight's Metal. And as I was reading it, I was like, it felt like it was starting to tell a story. And this, you're just like, this is so rich, this is so ingrained, or so deep in what it's wanting to tell us, but it's also fun.
I mentioned this on Twitter when I was talking about the book.
this is one of those rare comics that I feel like a lot of different people can pick up and it works well. If you don't know anything about comics, you have the whole opening half of the book, which is the Justice League versus Mongol in a Voltron. All right, I mean that's just fun. If you know a little bit about DC, you're going to get a lot of these characters. And you're like, oh, I kind of recognize some of these guys. If you know a ton about DC, there's all these new characters coming back. If you're into Vertigo, well, suddenly you may have an interest in this because they're going to do something with Daniel, which is, again, they just don't do. If you're into the big event books, this totally qualifies as a big event book, right? I think there's a lot of different reasons. This is one of those books where I feel like a lot of different people can read and get something different out of, which is hard to do. It doesn't happen a lot these days. There's a lot for different people in there. So, Toby, did you like it? I mean, you kind of skimmed through it pretty quick. I know you wanted to read through it, but
it's not hitting me like it's hitting you guys because I don't know who these people are.
Sure.
Well, the thing is, does it pique your curiosity? I mean, do you?
Not right now.
Just the whole metal dark multiverse thing. Do you care about that or? But you're always you're the street level guy. You don't like the big cosmic shit, huh?
No. No. Give me the drunk fucks are trying to steal the granny's little purse, and then you have dude coming going, oh, what the fuck, and let me beat you up with a skateboard. That's my shit.
Well, are you gonna keep reading it? Maybe.
I have to. So all you fucks are not gonna stop talking about it.
You don't have to.
Spoilers for.
I just want you to read it if you like it. So, all right, we are going to move on to some questions now. We're gonna get out of here because I have to go get a lot of coffee, and we got to sit here all night and sell comic books and listen to a bunch of.
You should have had the coffee I had today. We had a Vietnamese coffee bar show up.
Yeah.
I had like 3 of those fucks. It was still jitty.
Well, you come get some Starbucks with me.
Okay.
This is from Ulysses. He says, there's a rumor from the Batman on Film account, which... you ever see those guys?
No idea.
Oh, terrible. There's a rumor that the Justice League movie is unwatchable. Do you believe it? Now, let me answer. Sure, I believe it. Because the movie isn't out for, what?
November.
3 months, 4 months, or something like that. So still lots of editing, still lots of production stuff they're working on, special effects. And guess what? The rumor was Wonder Woman was a total disaster. The rumor was Man of Steel could never start off the DC Universe film franchise. Everyone said Suicide Squad and Batman v Superman were commercial failures, yet they made a shitload of money and are all going to have sequels. So you know what? Fuck these rumors. Go watch the movie. If you don't like it, fine. If you like it, cool. I hate this stuff. I watched the movie 6 months before it was released. It was garbage. Yeah, because it wasn't edited and it had all the effects in it. And it wasn't done. Like,
I hope it was edited. Otherwise, I'd be watching dailies. That'd be kind of
that is.
Well, remember when was it the Wolverine?
I like that one better than
the leaked one.
Yeah,
Really?
I really do.
With no effects and like all
I
cut.
had effects though, but they were not finished. But I fucking love that version a lot more than the theatrical one. First of all, they used temp scores, so that scores from other movies. That fitted the movie way better than the actual score did.
That's funny. That's funny.
And it was just very amusing. I actually really prefer. That one, oddly, I am really thankful I got to watch that version when I had it somewhere. I don't know how I got it, of course. But, yeah, I actually like the leaked version way better than the finished product.
That's super funny. Jay Ludwig asks, how do we send questions? Well, you send them to @Ryan Higgins Ryan on Twitter every Tuesday around...
But be careful because he chooses and picks who he answers.
Well, if we have enough time, I go through all of them. Around 6 o'clock PST.
I'd say 6:30.
Well, send it at 6 because that's when I usually ask the question. There's usually a thread for it on Twitter.
Standard time.
Yep.
Please explain your acronym.
And just send it to me on Twitter. Also Facebook. The Facebook group, you can ask questions there. Patreon, contact forum. Yeah, the comics.
Those are like an archaic.
The Comic Conspiracy at geekbox.net, and I do read those from time to time.
Once every 6 months.
Norman says...
The dude that asked a question on the forum a year ago.
Forum?
On the forum. Remember that there's a forum for
the forums to the Geekbox are done. I mean, they may still be there, but
they're still there.
We don't.
People still post them.
No, we don't use them. If you are using Geekbox forums, they are not being used anymore. Go join the Facebook group. There's official. Like Ryan Scott is, we are not using those forums.
Okay.
So I told Ryan to just close them, but I think he may have kept them open. But no, those forums are officially done.
So there's some people on the internet like in a ghost town.
Yeah. Everyone in every forum that's not called NeoGAF is a ghost town. Norman says Aquaman has been a blonde-haired white guy for decades, even in the current Rebirth one. In the movie, he's not. Why?
Fucking deal with it.
Because Jason Momoa is awesome. That's why. Like,
it's Jason Momoa.
Yeah, he like
it.
You know, to be honest with you, I don't understand. I mean, look,
I don't think
I don't understand people. First of all, I think he's trolling us, and he just wants to get a reaction. But second of all, have you seen? I mean, I feel like he actually looks pretty damn accurate.
He looks amazing.
Be a little darker in skin, but he has some blonde highlights in his fucking hair. He looks pretty damn accurate to the comic book version.
Here's my thing: you can cast anyone as long as I think they fit the role. You know, if you're going to drastically alter a character to fit a casting, then that I'm not so okay with. But if you find this guy and you want Jason Momoa as Aquaman, yeah, okay, that's awesome. That totally can be Aquaman. He looks like he could be the part. He fits a great version of Aquaman. That, you know, the hook hand Aquaman. I mean, there's nothing in it that's like, well, Aquaman's now from South Central LA. Like, if they did something stupid like that, I would have a problem with that. But it's a fucking Aquaman. It's just, who cares? Who cares the skin color or the origin of the actual actor, as long as he fits the character.
The thing is I mean, I think.
Plus, we don't know yet. I haven't seen the fucking movie.
He looks fucking incredible. He looks great.
It's unwatchable. I mean,
but I at the same point, I wouldn't want Aquaman to suddenly be some, horrible white stuck-up snobby stereotype. That's not Aquaman. This is Aquaman.
The pilot they did for CW.
I never watched it.
You didn't?
I heard it was okay.
Lou Diamond Phillips and and the name
Green Arrow.
Yeah, Green Arrow is playing him.
Yeah. No,
the original Green Arrow.
Yeah, well, the Smallville Green Arrow guy. What's that guy's name? I'm totally blanking his name.
This Is Us now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Yeah. He was Green Arrow for like 4 seasons.
Oh yeah,
he played Aquaman in that pilot. Yeah.
People were mad that he didn't get casted for Oliver in the Arrow show.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. I mean, it's cool.
As long as he gives a good performance on screen, he looks fine as the part. Like like people have this idea that Aquaman needs to be white, blonde hair, or bearded. I'm like,
but the hair actually has some blonde highlights.
Yeah.
He actually does look like
it. Looks like he's been out in the ocean or been exposed to, seawater and.
Well, and I mean, if you want to be technical, an islander is a much more appropriate actual origin for Aquaman from where Atlantis would have been, and his parentage and everything. It wouldn't have been like white dudes. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it'll be great. So, Jesus says the new Marvel.
Great. Did you see the gift of him riding the parademon down?
Incredible.
Like it's fucking awesome.
It's incredible.
Actually, dude, like certain things when they change things but for the better, I really don't mind.
Yeah, no,
this is one of those cases. I think this is probably for the better.
Yeah, I mean, again, if it works, it's fine. If it doesn't work, the change probably wasn't worth it, right? And that's unfortunately just how it's going to be. You kind of got to wait and see what it looks like. Jesus says the new Marvel vs. Capcom game is devoid of any X characters. Why does Disney allow this to happen? And why can't they just play nice? Because they don't own the X stuff. Fox has those characters. There's no amount of money Disney would pay Fox, well, short of like $50 billion maybe. I mean, it would have to be a ridiculous amount of money. Fox makes a ton of money in the X-Men movies. They're not going to give up the rights to them.
How much did they buy Star Wars for?
Like $4 billion, $5 billion, super cheap. They bought Star Wars for nothing. They made that profit back in one movie. But yeah, Fox has no reason to give up the X-Men. And so why would they?
No, because it actually makes them money.
Yeah, and
not much else.
Again, Marvel and Disney does not want to promote the X-Men or the Fantastic Four because they don't own those characters. They kind of have a deal with Sony and Spider-Man, so Spider-Man as a property sells a ridiculous amount for like collectibles and action figures and clothing. The X-Men, contrary to popular belief, is not a very popular franchise in merchandising rights. Spider-Man is huge, even before the during the course of the movies. X-Men has never really been like that. So
I will beg to differ in this bright yellow Wolverine shirt.
I mean, it's just
how often does he wear that though?
All the fucking time.
I saw some crazy stat that something like Spider-Man and Batman are something like 94%, something ridiculous, like 94% of all comic book related merchandise. Some bananas number like that. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember the specific, but it was something stupid. Where it was like everything else is just an afterthought. Like those two characters just represent all the sales for everything. So. Steven asks, probably can't answer during this podcast. Well, I told you we were going to. Where do I start reading Sandman? Referencing the last page of Metal. Yep, there's one book, 75 issues. Read the whole thing. And a special.
Then the
Endless
Nights
if you read through that and you want to read the couple specials they did after.
Whole run of 75 issues?
75 issues in a special.
So 2 books I got are what, half of that?
I think it's...
Isn't it 3 omnibuses for the...
No, he got the absolutes. I think there's 5.
5.
Yeah.
Because the 5th one has Endless Nights in it.
It has a special... Does it have Endless Nights in it?
Yeah, I think it does.
And then there's Death one, but you don't have to read Death. Death is separate.
Well, I want to read Death. She looks cute.
I mean, you can. Yeah.
There's also the
Chris Pacello does all the art in that first one, too. Yeah, there's other stuff, but the main book is 75 issues in a special. That's all you have to read. I mean, that's a lot. Right. Well, it gets to issue 7. That's her first appearance.
Oh, God, Sound of Her Wings?
Yeah.
That's issue
8? 7? 8?
I think it's 8.
Whatever, it's the last issue in the first volume. Yeah, it's 8.
So I never got to her, you're saying.
It's the last issue in the first volume. If you never finished
first one.
That's when it switches.
Yeah.
That issue is where everything changes.
Yeah. I never got... I bought the trade years ago knowing there's something you have to read.
Yeah.
And it's never fucking got through.
You can go on YouTube and there's somebody that reads out the whole issue. You can.
That's not the problem. I just fucking don't care for it.
Read it. Just read the last issue. Read that issue. You can read it standalone. It doesn't. I mean, it connects, but you can just read it by itself. It's just him and her talking for 22 pages.
Okay.
Yep, they're just talking on a playground. Are they like a playground or they're like a park?
They're at a park and some kids playing soccer. And it comes back around.
Well, that sounds a lot more interesting than the entire fucking.
Yeah, they're just well.
The first story arc is difficult because the first story arc is you're thrust in this character and it's tying in stuff from DC and it's him chasing down
for one panel.
It's him escaping.
Yeah, he's captured in the past. He comes out. He's tracking down his little baubles and stuff. Yeah. No, I mean again, I love it. I think there's a lot going on. I really like it. And if you're a DC Comics fan, there's a ton of awesome, characters in that first arc that are like, oh hey, these are like real DC characters.
Constantine in the first one.
Yeah. No.
I did try to read this fucking shit.
Yeah, go back. Yeah, try it again. Let's see. Grumble Bumble asks, do you feel sympathy? Oh, wait, no, sorry. Do you feel sympathy for us to have to wake up in the morning? He did ask us. And can't go to the midnight launches. No, you should feel sympathy for me because I have to go out at 1 o'clock in the morning.
They don't feel sympathy for you because you already read it.
I know. Jay Ludwig did have a real question, though. He says, comic companies used to send books directly in the mail with subscriptions. Why did they stop? And do you think they will again? Well,
they have Brock's in their companies.
Well, as far as I know, they still do.
DC still and Marvel both still have their websites on their websites where you can order single issues of their book.
No, you can get a subscription to their comics. You cannot order single issues from them, but they do. Yes, they have mail order subscriptions. They're very cheap. As far as
maybe it's just that they have the price on them.
As far as I know, what am I trying to say here? As far as hey, it's Lane. I was like, who the hell is walking up to the door? As far as I know, Midtown for a long time was actually shipping out the mail order stuff for Marvel. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's changed in the last year or two, but last I knew they still did, unless it just changed.
But you should get your books from a store.
But yeah, you can. And I mean, they come very late and all beat up from mail order. Yeah.
Really? I mean, is it? I mean, do we give them that credit?
Will, of course, it's a store. Yeah, it's one of the biggest. Will says the new Thanos statue has both a cosmic cube and an infinity gauntlet. If you wield a cosmic cube, could you create an infinity gauntlet out of thin air or vice versa? That's a Charlie question. I don't actually know. Those types of items within comics tend to be like It's like an epic it's like an epic loot drop in World of Warcraft. You can only have one. You can't have a second one. Like they just don't. It just doesn't allow it.
Can I interject here for a second?
Sure.
Now there might be some spoilers here for Secret Empire number 8, but apparently you can barf up and create a fucking cosmic cube fragment.
I have not read 8, but I heard about this, and I'm so waiting to get there. Secret Empire has become such a fucking disaster. Like, it's so and I liked it when it started, but it's so gloriously bad now. Like, I can't believe. But I've heard about this. I have 7 and 8 to still read. I've heard about this, and I really am curious.
Happened. Like, he pukes it up, and I'm like,
Bryce, come back, please, come back.
Yeah.
Have you been reading Secret Empire?
He'll fight you all. Doesn't matter what you guys think. He'll fight you all.
That's a losing battle for an inhuman that can puke up stuff.
It's not a losing battle when you're Bryce.
All right, Casey asks, which Joel Schumacher Batman film is better? I knew that's the question.
One.
Yeah, sure. Batman Forever.
I kind of like that.
I kind of like Batman Forever too.
The second best one is Phone Booth.
Is that a Batman movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Brock, do you like either of those better than
I've only seen Batman Forever. I refuse to see Batman and Robin. To this day, I haven't.
Batman and Robin was one of those movies where I remember distinctively being in the theater, and even though I was a fucking nerd and loved these movies, even though when they're bad, I still love those movies and thought they were the greatest things of all time. Batman and Robin was the first time I sat there going, this actually may not be good. What's going on here?
Yeah.
I saw the trailer for it, and I was like, nope, done.
There's some enjoyable parts, but it's not good.
Apparently there's
no enjoyable parts.
Apparently there's a cut on YouTube that
maybe the nipples on background.
Oh, jeez.
But I won't watch it.
Cisco asks, between Dark Knight Metal #1, Marvel Legacy #1, and Doomsday Clock, which will be the highest ordered book of the year
Wait, wasn't there a close-up of Batman's butt?
Yeah.
It was, right? When they were, like, putting the pants on and shit, and then you go, and then you're like, this giant butt in my face.
Yeah. Between Metal Legacy and Doomsday Clock, which will be the highest ordered book of the year through Diamond, and which will be the highest ordered book of the year through your shop? I think there's a very good chance Legacy is going to be both. Including, because I already put in my number for Legacy. My number for Legacy is humongous, because Marvel has just a ridiculous deal on that first issue. It's a one-shot on the issue, making it a no-brainer for stores to stock crazy deep. Because of variant covers, the book's super profitable, and there's no reason to not order super, super high. Metal, my orders are
double what they used to be.
Not the highest I've ever placed for a not counting at the Harley variant or weird stuff like that. But it is top 10 probably ever. Doomsday Clock will be like top 3, especially with no. Well, you know what? Actually, with no variant covers, Doomsday Clock might not be quite as high because I'll definitely sell a shitload of them. But I mean, you get those variant covers with Metal, man. It helps.
I think Doomsday Clock's gonna do well.
Your biggest right.
But I don't. I
think that's gonna be your biggest.
The numbers.
I think you can sell it at that one while Legacy still has some left.
Well, yes. Here's the thing with Legacy, though. I'm also giving away a shitload of copies of that for free.
But still, I think Doomsday Clock is gonna be the book.
I think Doomsday Clock for us will outsell Metal, but it'll be, especially if there's no variants, like they've said, it'll be tight. But yes, I will order a very large amount of Doomsday Clock, variants or no variants. But Legacy, again, will probably... Don't need to talk about specific numbers. A lot. More than I've ordered of anything else. I've ordered a lot.
More than a box.
But I think already now the Doomsday Clock thing with the Superman symbol is already iconic.
Yeah. Okay, got a couple. I'm skipping a bunch because we got a shitload of questions.
See?
But,
he always does that.
Well, I don't want to record for 7 hours.
Yes, you do.
Question, sure.
Brandon says, who do I need to talk to about getting the DC letter columns back? Never going to happen. They tried. It doesn't work. Letter columns are dead. Marvel still has them sometimes, but...
Vertigo still has them.
Yeah, they should dead. Yeah.
Do they pick and choose who to print those things also?
Yeah.
They must.
DC tried with letter columns. They fucked it up real bad, and at this point, nobody cares. Ivan Liskanek asks, who do you want to write Interaction Comics and Detective Comics 1000? Man, I don't even know. That's a good question.
I want Jim Lee to do Batman.
Well, they would be anthologies. Yeah, Action Comics 1000. That's
1000
next year.
And then Batman.
But isn't Action Comics Superman?
Yeah, Detective's just after it.
Yeah. Yeah, Action's higher than Detective, even though Detective started earlier, because Action went weekly in the 80s for a while, and they hauled them out.
It was bi-weekly.
It was weekly. It was weekly.
Oh, that was weekly?
Yeah, Action Comics weekly, yeah. So they jetted way ahead of Detective, the numbering, because of that. So Action's next year, I believe Detective's the year after that, or maybe slightly after.
They're kind of close. I mean,
yeah, they're only a couple. They're only
Action's in the 60s.
Is it gonna be one of those things where it's like double size, and then you have multiple artists and all the legendary writers?
I think they're both going to be humongous. They're going to be like 100-page issues. They're going to have Jim Lee will do covers for all their big guys will do 12 different variant covers. Yeah, they're going to be humongous. Yeah. Fuck, of all these things, Action Comics 1000 will probably be DC Marvel Legacy #1 if I had to guess order wise. I think Action Comics 1000 will be a fucking humongous comic. I really think that's going to be one of the biggest books ever launched in comics in the modern day. Right?
Yeah, because it's the first one to legitimately go for 1,000.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, if you throw the numbers together, yeah. I mean, other books have prior, but for like the regular monthly superhero stuff, yeah. I mean, those kids' books back in the 50s, they put this as like crazy. Some of those went over 1,000 real fast. See more butts. Well, what's the question?
Who do you want to draw?
Oh, who do I want to? Well, everyone. I mean, that was my answer. Like, everyone will do it. Stuff. Everyone.
Like,
it's kind of like the Superman Batman one where everybody just drew 2 pages or 3 pages.
Yeah, the one for Turner.
Yeah.
No, yeah, everyone. That's who I want to do it because
anniversary.
Yeah, this is the issue. I mean,
everybody gets 3 pages too.
Sure, of course. I mean, sure, of course, it's going to be Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. I want to do Action Comics at the main story, but everyone, yeah, of course, because why not?
Fabok and Tom King for the main story.
Yeah, sure.
Well, what about Scott?
They'll all do stories. Sure, Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo could do a story too for Detective. Sure, why not? So Seymour Butt says, Who do you want to write a Twin Peaks comic? Oh man, what a question aimed at me.
Ask that fucking question. Go, Skip.
What a great question for me.
No, Skip.
Well, of course, the answer is Tom King with art by Mitch Gerados.
No, can't have.
Jared's Gerados. Not. I was thinking. Oh, actually. What's his? I'm looking at Lane. What's Bendis's guy on Jessica Jones? That's Gerados, right?
Oh,
yeah. He may actually do a really good Twin Peaks comic. I said his name accidentally and meant to say Mitch. Gerard's? How do you pronounce it?
Sorrentino would do it.
Gerard's?
I don't think there's a second part. You think Sorrentino would do it?
I mean, I love Sorrentino, but I don't know if it would really fit the title. But writing, God, I mean, I don't know. Tom King. Just because Tom King. I have no idea. I mean, David Lynch. David Lynch is who should write it, because that's who wants to write it. Yeah, and that's it.
Question.
That's it. That's the
We're not
podcast.
ending on that question.
Podcast.
That's bullshit.
We have to thank all our good friends at Patreon.
Bullshit, Toby.
Don't you have kids to go home to? We have to thank.
Sleep.
We have to thank. Oh, well, then good. You can stay for a midnight release
I'm
of
not saying I gotta wake up in the morning.
Batman Metal. So do I. So does Toby.
First day of school.
Meh. You've done it before.
My kids have to go first day of school.
Yeah, they're fine.
And I get the wonderful thing of sharing my birthday with that damn day.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Brock.
Thanks.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's not your birthday. Facebook will remind me.
Happy unbirthday.
Very happy. Very merry on birthday to you.
Reminded
well, you know what I'm referencing to, right?
What?
Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah, a very merry on birthday.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. So we have to thank all our good friends on Patreon again. Although I was gonna say it's the 15th, so it's the beginning of the month. Jesus. Thank you guys. Thank you. Our Patreon stuff was all messed up. I finally got it figured out. So we have all our backers. The backers didn't notice any of this. This is just all on our end. Everything's processed now. Everything's fine. So you guys don't have to worry about it. So I'm gonna verify all
Hey,
these
did we
people.
hit random picks?
Dennis Jansen, Samurai Godzilla, Alex McHale, Matthew Schnapp, David. We have midnight release thing. We'll double pick next week. Double.
Did you?
Double.
It'd be a triple pick because did you do it last week?
Yeah, we did.
David Safar.
Double random pick. David Barold, Don Kilson, Mark Long, Michael Zakevic, Will Roberts, Ivan Liskanik, Brian Morawski, Mason Barber, Miles Gakula, Rich Guerrera, Matthew Holmes, Paula Schultz, Matt Smith, Blake Etchers, Keith Amaral, David Polanco, Christopher Noyes, this list is an ending, David Nguyen, Wait, Kevin Nguyen, David Safar, Stephen McLeary, Tyler Wiltis, Trevor Fleischman, Gary Hollinsby, Chris Freeman. Am I reading the right list? I am.
Yes,
Christopher Stone, Sick Comics, Timothy Aaron Wright. Oh my God, Father Dante. Seriously, listen to this. Father Dante, Brian Wilson, Nick Harrison, Chris Palaki, Kevin Ellis, Chris Olivis. There's all sorts of names in here I don't recognize. This is awesome.
Because it's a new month.
Christina Tatone, Wally Ansari, Bob Learned, Chris Bunch. Hey, Chris Bunch. Gordon McKenzie, J.R. Burek, Greg Lindsay, Stephen Hayden, Anthony Eddie Moreno, and Andrew Cuscieri. Thank you guys all very, very, very much, and as well as everyone else that donates to us at patreon.com/Comic Conspiracy. Fine, random pick, fine. We'll do this stupid random pick garbage. Why did I make this a tier? I'm going to make this $1,000 tier now. I think get rid of the stupid random picks again.
$1,000 tier?
I hate random picks. I think I mentioned, I don't know, read Metal. That's a great book.
No, you cannot pick Metal.
Sandman, because I have to read it.
I just recommended Sandman like the other week. I was like, yeah, sure, it's Sandman. That's the 19th time I've picked that randomly.
Well, it's the first time I'll pick it.
Let's get a random pick. So my random picks suck because I never think randomly. I just had to looking on the wall. We're sitting in different places now at the new store, so my random picks can be from a slightly different position here. I'm gonna steal a random pick from Toby.
What?
I'm gonna steal a random pick from Toby.
Why?
Because
I don't even have any picks.
I know.
Why are you stealing from me?
I'm gonna steal one of your books.
What?
If you're a fan of DC Comics from the 90s and maybe very early 2000s,
where are you going with this?
They have been going crazy with awesome reprints recently of all your favorite characters.
Where are you going with this?
That are no longer around in DC Comics. And
Stephanie?
One of my favorite ones from that time
Robin?
Was Birds of Prey by Chuck Dixon.
Ah!
Which now have, I believe, where they have the volume, but I got 3 up there. Yeah.
They better not stop that.
No, they should get through his whole run.
Oh, such a good run.
Everything that kind of is the modern take on these characters comes from that run. From Huntress, Huntress prior to that run of Birds of Prey was not really a good character. I didn't really like Huntress prior to what they did with her in Birds of Prey.
You didn't like her being the daughter of Batman and Catwoman?
No. Golden, like Silver Age Huntress is fine. I mean,
am I missing a piece of history somewhere along?
No. They just
I went from that to Birds of Prey Huntress.
Yeah, who's totally different.
Yeah,
Bertinelli. So
did I miss a piece of history somewhere along?
No, they just didn't do a lot with that character when they reintroduced her. Like nobody the only time I even maybe remotely cared about her was on what Joe Quesada did those covers of Batman right before Nightfall, right before the Breaking of the Bat stuff. But she was in a couple issues of that. But the Helena Bertinelli stuff prior to Run on Birds of Prey, it was just nothing. I just didn't care about that character. But Chuck Dixon did an awesome job with her. Built, of course, of Birds of Prey. Obviously,
you're only picking that because I've been saying Chuck Dixon for the last 2 years.
The majority of the great Barbara Gordon stuff as Oracle comes from that run. Power Girl is fantastic in that run. Obviously, Black Canary was in tons of comics, but again, some of the best Black Canary. Stuff, yeah. Well, I mean Green Arrow, but number 2 would be Birds of Prey. So, yeah, you can't go wrong with those books. Those are really good title. I'm so happy that all that stuff's getting reprinted.
Yeah.
All that great Chuck Dixon stuff.
And Batgirl Stephanie Brown is getting reprinted.
Is that your pick?
Sure, because I actually really like that book, especially a little cameo by Damian Robin.
Yep.
That was freaking hilarious. I'll go with that.
Volume 1 out tomorrow.
And Oracle is training her.
Yep. Brock, got a random pick?
I think I picked my random pick on Twitter earlier today because I want to reread it.
What's that?
It's Brian Wood's DMZ.
Oh, political, huh? Can't get enough of that in the real world?
I want some good political shit, so I'm going to go with DMZ. What's out there in the real world is just ridiculous garbage, so...
Yeah, Brian Wood, Vertigo series, I don't know, 50, 60 issues or something?
60, I think it was 60 some odd issues. It's, 5 hardcovers
the big.
About
well, they're reprinting them all in the fat, soft covers.
So. It's about 5.
Yeah, I think it's 5
volumes. 10, was it 10 or 12? No,
I think it's 10 in the original.
Yeah, it might have been 10 in the original soft cover.
Sounds right.
But really,
they're reprinting DMZ in better trades now. So
really good stuff. I mean, I loved it when... I read the first 6 trades in 2 weeks. When I first
I never finished it. I read the first couple volumes, but I never finished it. I really should.
Speaking of letter columns, I have a letter in.
Yeah, you do.
Issues,
Yeah.
So, Yeah, but
New York becomes a demilitarized zone.
So check it out. It's really, really good stuff. Whether or not you the political landscape that it is today.
Hey, Ryan.
Yo.
Guess what?
What?
In 55 minutes, you're reopening the store.
I know. I gotta close up and go get my Starbucks and then come back. So let's tell you to go visit comicspiracypodcast.com where you can view all our previous episodes as well as geekbox.net and of course subscribe on iTunes. It helps our ratings and helps people find this podcast.
Yes, please. We need to actually have an episode where we do some rates and reviews.
Maybe. The comicspiracygeekbox.net. That is where you can send us your long form questions or that contact form.
What we really need is iTunes to make a comic book section or a nerd section.
Yeah, that's good. Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz is where you can go buy all your digital comics, including Dark Knight's Metal #1, but really you should go find a regular copy of that.
She's come here in 55 minutes.
Yeah.
Or technically, when you listen to this,
a day ago.
So this is some wibbly wobbly timey-wimey thing. But in 55 minutes, you should come here.
ConspiratorBrock.com, that's Brock's blog, video pull list. Check out the stuff there. Wanderers of the Fourth.
I've been out for a few weeks, so.
Oh yeah, you're gone. Yeah.
This week's going to be a little bit long.
Wanderers of the Fourth Dimension podcast is Charlie's Doctor Who podcast, as well as Etsy.com/shop/LeanneHillArt. That is my wife, Leanne. That is her Etsy store. Go on there, pick up some good prints from her. I'm on Twitter, Ryan Higgins Ryan. Brock is Brock Sager. Bryce, who I think is coming back next week, is Larson Bryce. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie is Insanity and Chaos. The store is Comics Con Store. Geekbox, Comedy Button, Good Job Brain, I'll Talk Podcast, and Monka Machinations. Those are the podcasts in the little network you should give a listen to. And that's it. I got to go sell some comics to people. See you guys later.